The story begins with Eun Haeng, who works at a prestigious bank where he earns a good salary and regularly sends money to his mother. Or at least, that's what should be happening, because in reality, it's all just a dream, and he has been unemployed for 5 years. His mother, however, believes he has a job and proudly shows him off to everyone, frequently calling to ask when he'll receive his paycheck so she can organize a celebration for his job. He always replies that it will be next week and quickly hangs up. One day, Eun Haeng hears about a thief running away with money, so he decides to stop her. The money ends up in the hands of the man chasing her, who immediately leaves. The girl, irritated, explains that she was actually fleeing from her brother, who wanted to steal her money. Realizing this, Eun Haeng apologizes, but it's not enough, as she tells him he won't be able to escape the situation. This girl is Cho Co, the owner of a cafe where she sells chocolate, but the business isn't doing as well as she'd hoped. With many overdue rent payments, Cho Co found herself forced to take out a loan, which her brother ended up taking. Cho Co asks Eun Haeng about his job, wanting to know where to find him, so he can repay the money she lost because of him. He responds that he doesn't have a job, but Cho Co doesn't believe him, since he's dressed in very expensive clothes. He insists that he's unemployed and broke, so she suggests that he work for her until he pays off the entire debt. Otherwise, she'll go after his parents. With no other choice, Eun Haeng agrees, but since he's not good at cleaning, he decides to pay the money immediately using online financing and his knowledge of finance. Cho Co then proposes that they become partners, but Eun Haeng promptly refuses because his goal is to work at a bank, not in a chocolate shop. Just as he's about to leave, he receives a message from his mother, informing him that she has already made reservations for the celebration meeting. This message prompts him to accept Cho Co's proposal, but only for a month. Over time, the shop starts gaining more attention, and they both seem to begin enjoying each other's company. Cho Co even feels jealous when she sees him attending to various girls. One day, a customer arrives and places his order very quickly. Since Cho Co didn't hear the entire order, the customer gets irritated. Eun Haeng steps in to defend her, and when the customer is about to assault him, Cho Co throws a cake in his face. After the incident, Cho Co feels bad about everything that happened and begins to tell Eun Haeng about the difficulties she faced throughout her life, but that nothing stopped her from pursuing her dream of becoming a chocolatier. Hearing this, Eun Haeng feels envious of her for being able to do what she loves. At that moment, Dal-soo appears, who met Cho Co as a child when she gave him chocolates, and since then, he has dreamed of marrying her. While taking out the trash, Dal-soo discovers that his competitor is unemployed and humiliates him in front of everyone. Eun Haeng can't stand the situation and decides to leave. Cho Co chases after him, nearly getting hit by a car, which makes him return and say that she's crazy. They talk, and Cho Co still doesn't understand how someone as talented as Eun Haeng doesn't have a job. She suggests that he start his own business, but Eun Haeng replies that even if he wanted to, he couldn't, because his mother wouldn't allow it, as 15 years ago, his father had his own business. However, sometime later, the business failed, and it was at that moment that his father's chronic illness worsened, leading to his death. Since then, Eun Haeng's mother only wants him to have a stable job. Cho Co, quite drunk, advises Eun Haeng to follow what makes him happy, saying that he's capable of achieving what he desires. At that moment, Dal-soo appears and apologizes for his behavior, revealing that he discovered everything that happened with Eun Haeng's family. At work, Cho Co can't stop watching Eun Haeng because she's been in love with him since 3 months ago when she was handing out samples of her chocolate. At that time, no one paid attention until Eun Haeng tried one and said he really liked it. Since then, she's been enchanted and waited every day to see him again. However, that never happened until he mistook her for a thief, at which point Cho Co immediately recognized him but chose not to say anything. Dal-soo makes a promotional video for the shop, which irritates Eun Haeng because he appears in it. At that moment, Jerry arrives, wanting to do a report on Eun Haeng and the shop since both have gained a lot of popularity, a proposal he accepts. During the interview, Eun Haeng hurriedly leaves because his mother informed him that she was coming to his work to bring him food. He intercepts her and says he doesn't want the food, asking her to leave, to which she responds by apologizing for bothering him. At night, Jerry asks Eun Haeng if he has a girlfriend, showing interest in him, and asks Cho Co for permission, who also seems to like him. However, Cho Co immediately denies it, saying she would never be interested in Eun Haeng, which irritates him. As a result, he decides to accept Cherry's offer to interview for a job at her uncle's bank. Upon hearing this, Cho Co becomes sad, especially because the next day is Valentine's Day, a day she always spent alone. Cho Co used to prepare a box full of chocolates to give to the boy she liked, but something always went wrong. One moved schools, another announced he was getting married, and when she finally got a boyfriend, she found out he was cheating on her with her best friend. The next day, the shop fills with people demanding to see Eun Haeng for financial consultations, until he finally shows up, having decided to skip the interview and stay at the shop. When they close the shop, Cho Co asks Eun Haeng why he came back, to which he replies implies that it was because of her. At that moment, his mother arrives, having discovered everything because of the interview published in the newspaper, and demands that he leave that place. But Eun Haeng defends himself, saying that it's been 15 years since his father's death and that since then, he's never been able to do what he really wanted because of her, but now he's tired of it. These words cause Eun Haeng's mother to faint. Not wanting this to happen again, he decides to leave the shop, which saddens Cho Co, as once again she finds herself alone, unable to give him the box of chocolates she had prepared for him. Months pass, and we see that Dal-soo has become famous thanks to a casting he did while delivering a chocolate order. Meanwhile, Cho Co is back to square one, with her rent debts piling up again. On the other hand, Eun Haeng has achieved what he always dreamed of. He got the job at the bank that Cherry had offered him. However, he wasn't happy about it, unlike his mother. But over time, she realizes that her son is only pretending to be happy for her sake. So, she finally tells him that he can do whatever he wants and that she will no longer interfere. With this, Eun Haeng goes to find Cho Co to tell her that he wants to come back, but she hits him, thinking he was a hallucination. In the end, we see that the shop has become popular again, and that Dal-soo and Cherry seem to be interested in each other, as they arrange to go on a date, which surprises Cho Co, who assumed he didn't like her. Then, Eun Haeng interrupts to give her a gift. Cho Co is touched and asks if it's because he likes her, to which she confirms, deciding to kiss her, thus ending the story.